server virtualization. Server virtualization already we discussed in type of virtualization. Once again, we'll see. Which is a centralized one. We are also using a virtualization, right? VMware workstation, VirtualBox, and also we created a virtual machines and we are accessing a virtual machine. That is a localized. That is for us and our side of system, right? So we'll come to that point again. But what is this server virtualization? It's a centralized virtualization. Means there is a central machine configured virtual machines inside. People access these virtual machines from their desktops. From their, they will connect it to these virtual machines and access that virtual machine and work on these virtual machines. Right? Maybe a virtual machine is I make it as a web server. Another virtual machine I make it as a some FTP server. Another machine as like an Active Directory server. Or other machine is to run some developer want to run his applications on it. Okay, for a production environment, virtualizations, or a development environment, virtual machines. So the developer want to test their applications on a development environment. So for that one virtual machine. For production, once it is successful, I will deploy into the production. So production related virtual machines. Okay. So different virtual machines I can. It means my virtual machines I can access which is running in my PC. But these virtual machines, so the different users can access. For example, it's a web server. So multiple people access the website, web related services. If it is a DNS server, so multiple people access the DNS services. Okay. So for example, a user want to connect to the his virtual machine to do certain task on it. So they can also connect it through network. So this is a centralized virtualization. So server virtualization means a centralized virtualization. Means there is a server. Okay, we can run in the server using this. We can create a virtual machines in the server and running a different type of operating systems in this virtual machine. So like multiple operating systems running on the single physical machine. Okay, in the virtual machines. Yeah. Okay. Next. What is server virtualization? Again, create and run multiple computer operating system on a single physical server. The host server, the physical server, shares their resources, means RAM, CPU, okay, disk, storage, sharing these resources with all virtual machines. So what is this exactly a virtualization? It is sharing of resources. Sharing of resources, physical resources to virtualized environment. Okay. Hosted on a Microsoft Hyper-V. Okay. This, what is this hosted? Is a Hyper-V, VMware vSphere, Citrix Zen Server, Proxmox V. Okay. So these are the different platforms. What is these platforms? That here you can see. Here it is. Let's look at it. So this is my hardware, guys. Hardware means CPU is there, RAM is there, storage is there. Okay, network is there. Okay, so different hardware components. So what is this we are installing is Hyper-V. Hyper-V. Sorry. Hypervisor. What is this hypervisor? This hypervisor is a virtualization platform or virtualization layer. These hypervisors help you to create and run virtual machines on these physical machines. These hypervisors can be a Microsoft Hyper-V, can be a Microsoft Hyper-V, or from VMware, it can be ESXi, or from Citrix, it is Gen Server, or from the Proximox VE, from Proximox VE, or so many other types of. Okay. So what is this server virtualizations? Allow you to detach a computer hosting a service or a role from hardware which is running. So in this virtual machine, what is the service is running? What application it is running? It is not interacting with your physical hardware. Okay, or not with any other virtual machines. Okay, it's like an isolation. Okay, it's not interaction. It's like a detachment. Only it is as a physical hardware, sharing its resources, CPU, RAM, storage, network, it's sharing its resources to the virtual machine. And it does not mind about what is the virtual machine is running, what OS it is running, what services is running. How much it is utilizing, that is the only matter here for a physical host. Almost all server workloads can now run on the virtual machine. So use server virtualization reduce the number of physically deployed servers. So when one single server, I am able to run a multiple virtual machines. Means, for example, see, there is a 4 machines I am running. So 6 machines I am running. So around a 5 to 6 machines, physical machines, no need to buy. So simply I am running. Okay. This is the once again about server virtualization. The virtual machine functions as a physical server. Run almost all types of workloads as a physical machine. Runs almost all types of workloads as a physical machine. It's a function as a physical machine. What do you do with your physical machine? You're running different applications, services. Same thing you can do it in virtual machines. Okay. So can install and run different types of operating system. Older operating system, newer operating system. You can run on the virtual machines. Old operating system need older hardwares, but it can run on the virtual machines. Okay. So you can run both 32-bit and 64-bit based operating system and applications on the virtual machines. Okay. So for example, you have a 64-bit hardware. Generally, nowadays, compulsory 64-bit hardware for virtualization. Now 64-bit. But you can run 32-bit operating system, 32-bit applications, 64-bit OSs, 64-bit applications also run on the same kind of hardware. So that is the power of virtualization. You can copy or move VMs, virtual machine, to any other physical machines. For example, in our organization, so this server having a lot of loads, these 6 machines are running. So I feel it is occupying around 70-80% of load. So what I will do, I can move a virtual machine from there to here. Okay, I can move a virtual machine from this host 1 to host 2 or server 1 to server 2. I can move a virtual machine. Okay, simply it will runs here now. It runs here in this one. Okay, so load will be reduces and load will be shared here. You can copy also. You can copy means make a duplicate copy of the VMs, or we can move the VMs from one physical machine to another machine. You can create a snapshot to save the various configurations. So previous configuration to roll back. I think, yeah, so snapshot. So for example, you want to try new configuration, new application, new setting, new update. But before going to do it, something goes bad. So you lost of the previous configuration, working configuration, right? So what you do, you can able to create a snapshot on the virtual machine. In case of failure is occur, so you can roll back to the previous state. Okay, so that is you can create a snapshot on it. Clone the VMs to make a duplicate copies. Okay, you configured a VM with all OS is installed in a VM and configuration is done. Everything means all settings you have done. For you want to keep a copy, separate copy for safekeeping, or maybe you want some different settings you want to run, some additional settings you want to run in a separate copy. So you can create a clones. Clones means same copy of the virtual machines you will create it. You can run in a same or a different virtual machines, different locations. You can clone your virtual machines. Cloning means same copy as this copy. Okay, like this. This is a virtual machines kind of stuff. Okay, guys, understand virtual machines. What is the use of these virtual machines? Once again, what is the traditional and virtual architecture? In traditional architecture, you have a physical machine running with an operating system and runs your applications. Virtualization architecture. So there is a virtualization layer on top of your hardware. Okay, it's a virtualization layer. What is it? Hypervisor. Hypervisor is a virtualization layer or a virtualization platform. And you run different virtual machines with a different operating system and with the different applications in it. So multiple operating system, multiple applications running on a single physical machine. With the help of this virtualization layer called hypervisor. Up to this point. So next, guys, of course, in earlier, we are using a 32-bit physical machines. In that one also, some got 32-bit virtual machines are running. In 32-bit physical machines, 32-bit virtual machines we run. Nowadays, the operating systems applications comes with a 64 also. So for that was, you must your physical machine is 64-bit only. Okay. To create and run virtual machines, mainly 64-bit virtual machine, the CPU must be 64-bit, and in the CPU, the virtualization technology must be enabled. The VM virtualization instruction set is for Intel it is VTX, for AMD it is AMDV. How to verify is your system is supporting for virtualization or not? So go to the task manager. One way is go to the task manager. And in that one, click on the performance. Click on CPU. Here it is. You are getting a CPU information. In bottom, virtualization. In bottom, it is showing virtualization is enabled. It means I can run virtual machines in my physical machines. If it is showing virtualization is disabled, I can't run virtual machines in my physical machine. Okay. So at a CPU level, this virtualization technology must be enabled. Most of the recent processors, almost all everything is 64-bit processors only, and most of the processor having these instructions are inside. And most of the systems are enabled with this feature. First thing is inside a processor, this virtualization instruction should be there, and it should be enabled in the BIOS. You want to verify in a one more place that is called a system info 30. Go to the command prompt. And type this system info.exe. It will give you a list of things. In that one, you can see VM monitor system info. Okay. So it will give you your system information, including your CPU, RAM, and information also you are getting. Okay. But in the bottom you go, you can see Hyper-V requirements. VM monitor mode extensions. Virtualization enabled in firmware, yes. Second level address translation is yes. Data execution prevention is available, yes. So these are all main supporting for your virtualization support. In a Linux, go to the slash proc slash CPU info. In that one, you can able to find any NX, VTX kind of instructions inside flags. By like flags, it will shows NC. So by that one, you will understand it is virtualization is enabled here. In case the virtualization technology is not enabled, in this one, it is showing disabled. Okay, it is showing disabled. What to do? Okay, what to do? So go to the BIOS settings. You have to go to the BIOS settings. Search for the CPU features or advanced setting kind of stuff. Find out where is this virtualization technology. If it is disabled, click on it, just like a press enter button. Then it will show enable, disable, use up arrow, down arrow, select enable, enter, and F10 to save and exit. So enable the virtualization technology inside your BIOS. In case of it is showing disabled. If it is showing enabled means okay, no more. Okay. So this is hardware support for virtualization. What is this? Hardware support for a virtualization. If it is enabled, then only it virtualize its hardware or it will support its share. It divide a CPU. Okay, it will divide CPU, physical CPU into virtual CPUs and support to the your virtual machines. Otherwise, it won't support. Okay, mainly in a 64-bit virtualization. Guys, understand? How to verify? Okay. Now, hardware wise, we have seen. So, what is the requirement for a hardware, right? So, CPU, the CPU, that virtualization technology is enabled or not. So, hardware wise required. Now, you want to create a server virtualization means you need a physical machine, right? With a CPU enabled with a virtualization. Next, of course, our physical machine, our laptop or a server, whatever it is, must be enabled. Next is what we want is hypervisor. What we want is hypervisor. With this hypervisor only, we can able to create these virtual machines, right? Hypervisor is a virtualization platform. That is hypervisor is a virtualization layer or a platform. It virtualize your hardware resources or share your hardware resources to the virtual machines. Okay, it helps to share the hardware resources to your virtual machines. It is used to create and run virtual machines. It divides physical resources to allocate to the virtual machines. It divides physical resources to allocate to the virtual machine, or it shares your physical resources to the virtual machine. Any word you can use it. This is called a hypervisors. And what are the hypervisors are there? What are the hypervisors are there? From VMware. VMware is an organization. From VMware, this hypervisor is ESXi. ESXi. Folder name is ESX. The latter from 5.56, now 7, next is 8. 8 is also available. Is a ESXi, is a hypervisor. vSphere is a client. So vSphere contains both ESXi and vSphere client product. So that's a vSphere called a client product. So like a client product kind of stuff. ESXi is the actual hypervisor. To access this ESXi, we need a vSphere. Okay, we need a vSphere. So ESXi is a hypervisor. The current version is 8, update 3. Okay, current version is in a VMware vSphere. Okay, so go to the VMware website and you can find that one. Yeah, now this VMware vSphere also freely downloadable. To download this VMware vSphere 8, you must have a Broadcom account is required. Okay, you have to download it from Broadcom. Okay, nice. Your 9 is also ready, but I'm saying it's only 8, so 9 is also available. But I don't know 9 is available for a free download or not. But last time, means 2 months back, I checked it, so you can able to download it. What you will download is this one, standard only. Okay, not a enterprise and not a foundation. Okay, the feature wise, this standard is lesser, like a ESX standard and vCenter standard support license. Okay, ESX enterprise plus vCenter standard, and these are also like in a foundation you are finding all these things. Okay, so I think it is 8 and now maybe it is a 9 is also available. Okay, verify once what versions are available right now and future wise differences, at least few. Okay, from Microsoft Hyper-V server, Microsoft Hyper-V server. Okay, this Hyper-V servers is released, as you know, last check it is 2019 only, 2022 I don't know. So Microsoft. Okay, Microsoft Hyper-V server 2022 is available or not, we don't know, but 2025 installation. Yes, it's not that one. Okay, 2019 is available, but 2022 still available or not, we are not. But that, okay, that's point it is. Okay, so Microsoft Hyper-V server is a hypervisor from Citrix Zen server. Okay, recently they changed this Zen server name. Okay, but generally it is Zen server. From Proximox. Proximox is a open source community kind of stuff. From Proximox, Proximox VE is works as a open source. From Red Hat organization, Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization. These are the hypervisors. Any of this hypervisor, take it, install into your hardware, just like how we install a OS. Similarly, you have to install into your hardware. Then your server become a hypervisor server or a server virtualization. It become hypervisor server. And this is Hyper-V. No, I don't want all this. I want a latest version to download. Not checking for Hyper. Okay. So these are the hypervisors. You guys understand what is hypervisors? Different products, hypervisor products. VMware, from VMware, from Microsoft, from Citrix, Proximox, from Red Hat. Okay. Guys, in this hypervisors, type 1 virtualization and type 2 virtualization is also there. In a server virtualization itself, we say type 1 virtualization, type 2 virtualization. This type 1 virtualization actually is a pure server virtualization. Okay. In type 1 virtualization also there is a two kind of stuff is also there. Okay. Type 1 virtualization is also called as bare metal virtualization. What is bare metal? Means it runs directly on the hardware. We install hypervisor directly on the hardware, and with the help of this hypervisor, you create a virtual machines. These virtual machines also interacting with your hardware directly. Okay, this hypervisor shares resources of hardware, so it runs on the hardware directly. Okay, no other interactions in between. That is called a bare metal virtualization. Runs directly on the hardware. So we discuss different hypervisors. These are all type 1 virtualization hypervisors. Type 1 virtualization hypervisors. These hypervisors we can directly install on the physical machine. Directly we can install it. Directly install on the hardware, just like you are installing OS. It does not provide direct physical interface to create, access, manage virtual machines. Means once you are installed it, you can't able to create any virtual machine with the provided interface. Yeah. Only one I think I deleted all old one. So one is left. Have to close lot of things. Morning I have taken a session, right? So I have to close lot of things. Servers and services. Okay. So this is VMware ESXi 7. It's in my machine. To run it, to install and run it, we need a 4 GB RAM. To do this practically, guys, you must have a availability RAM more than 4 GB. If RAM is more less than availability RAM is 4 GB, you can't perform this practically. Okay, your memory, available memory must be more than 4 GB RAM. Otherwise, we can't start this machine. Okay, so you are having 8 GB total memory. So you want to run this one, make sure that is 4 GB available. So close any background applications and all. Now I am getting connected. See, it is booted. You know what is this interface? This is the interface of VMware ESXi 7 only. Okay, so it is showing F2 and F12. F2 for viewing logs, customizing settings. Okay, it is asking a password, admin@123. Okay, so I want to do any network related settings or DNS related settings like that. You can able to do the settings, passwords, kind of stuff. Nothing more. Okay, escape to logout. F12 is for shutting down or restart purpose. So how to interact with this one? Using the web interface. Either you can use VMware vSphere client, but vSphere clients are not supported after 5.5 version. 5.5 version 6 also not supporting. It's a purely web client kind of stuff on. So here I putting HTTP yes colon / 192.168.1.6. Okay, so that is a URL it is showing there. Okay, now here I am in a VMware. So login as a root admin@123. Okay, see it is. I'm able to see my VMware ESXi machine. Okay, see what is the CPU, memory, storage. So how many virtual machines are created? 2 virtual machines are created. How much storages are created? Already this is a default one. So then these 2 virtual storages I created. Network. So one network already existing, 2 networks I created. The support groups I created. Virtual switches also added one more virtual switch. Okay. So this is your interface. You can go to this and create a virtual machines from here, not from the direct physical access. Okay. So that is about this hypervisors. Not only VMware, it's also for a Hyper-V and Zen servers. Everything, even a Proximox. Directly, we can't interact. That hypervisor size is also very small. It does not contain user interface facilities, direct user interfaces facilities. A very small TUI type of screen is available only for basic interaction purpose only, not for creating and managing virtual machines or storage or network related kind of stuff. Network means enable, disabling network, IP address configurations purpose only. But remaining virtualization related, you can't configure directly on a machine. So we have to access through remotely using the web client applications, desktop client application, or client management applications. Okay, guys, this is a type 1 virtualization. Type 1 virtualization you can achieve by going to the by installing hypervisors, VMware ESXi or Microsoft Hyper-V server or Citrix Zen server or Proximox VE, Red Hat Enterprise Virtualizations. Okay, next. Hypervisor with OS as feature or a role. Hypervisor with a OS. These hypervisors, some of the hypervisors also comes with your operating system. For example, Hyper-V, Microsoft Hyper-V. Hyper-V is server is available separately, but along with your Windows server or a client operating system, you are getting a Hyper-V as a role or a feature. For to get it, so in a Windows 8 onwards, it is available. Windows 7 onwards, some places it is showing, but I never seen in Windows 7. But in Windows 8, confidently it is there. So Windows 8, 8.1, Windows 10, Windows 11, in a 64-bit machines, that too the edition must be Pro or Enterprise. Guys, your physical machines are home machines. Windows 10 or Windows 11 home editions. But my laptop, this specific laptop, is a Pro or Enterprise. So I have it. So go to the PU or a turn Windows features on or off. Turn Windows features on or off. So there you can find an Hyper-V here. Not a hypervisor, guys. Compulsory C Hyper-V. So I can install this Hyper-V in my machine to gain the virtualization. Okay. So for your machine is a home editions, we can't do it. I'm also not installing. Okay. So in Windows 8, 8.1, Windows 10, Windows 11 must be 64 because of that Hyper-V platform installed only if it is a 64-bit machines. And if it is having a virtualization is enabled in your CPU in a BIOS, then only the platform will be installed. Otherwise, management console only it will install. And it's not available in home editions. It's available in Pro or Enterprise editions. As a feature, turn Windows feature on or off. As a role in Windows servers, from Windows Server 2008, 64-bit, 2008 R2, 12, 13, sorry, 12, 12 R2, 2016, 2019, 2020. This Hyper-V is available in the server devices also. Next, in the Linux, the hypervisor platform called KVM or QEMU platform. It's available as you know from the Red Hat Enterprise Linux or Oracle Enterprise Linux, CentOS 6 version onwards. Almost all from 6 onwards, 6, 7, 8, 9, it is there. Okay, so these are the hypervisors. Server-based hypervisor means bare metal wise, only single hypervisor wise. VMware ESXi, Microsoft Hyper-V, Citrix Zen Server, Proximox VE, Red Hat, Enterprise Virtualizations. Along with your operating system means you can use an operating system parallelly and you can also use virtualization, virtual machines. So depends upon your operating system. Okay. So whether if it is a Windows Pro or Enterprises, Windows 10 or 11, 64-bit, 8.1, this as a feature, this Hyper-V is available. Okay, make sure Hyper-V platform and management is installed. And of course, 64-bit, right? So in a Windows servers also as a role in Windows Server, also it is available. In Linux-based systems, we have KVM, QEMV flag. So along with your operating system, you can also run virtual machines. So this is a type 1 virtualization. Guys, these hypervisors come along with your operating system are not an applications. You can't download these applications. It's available either as a role or a feature internally. Okay, from Windows 2008, 64 in 2008, 32-bit, 64, two versions are there. In 64-bit version, Hyper-V role is available. And in later versions, anyway 64-bit, 2008 R2, from that one entirely is a 64, no 32-bit. Okay, still we are having this from Windows 8, 8.1, Windows 10, Windows 11, x64, 64-bit Pro and Enterprises Hyper-V as a feature it is available. In Linux, KVM, QEMV platforms also there. So these hypervisors with operating system comes with operating system, not an application, so built in. Okay, this is a type 1 virtualization. Understand, guys? We'll see VMware tomorrow. Remaining will complete it. Understand type 1 virtualization. Okay. So you have a system. You have a system. For example, Windows 10 or Windows 11 home editions. Home editions not having Hyper-V. Okay. Hyper-V is not there. So like this. Okay. So in there, we use this type 2 virtualizations. What is this? It's not this hypervisors, not directly installed on the hardware. Hypervisor application. It is a application wise installed in your operating system. Okay. Hypervisor applications installed on the operating system. Without OS, we can't install. So we have already operating system on top of OS. As an application, we are installing these hypervisors. Using hypervisor applications, we can run virtual machines locally. So this type 2 virtualization is not centralized one. So for localized virtualization purpose. Okay. But we are using that one. from VMware workstation. From VMware, okay, application is workstation for Windows, for Windows operating system. Okay, so the latest version is 18, I think so. 18 is the latest version. So when I created this document, that is 17 version. Okay, you can take a commercial purpose licensed one, or you can use a personal use free license. Okay, same VMware, instead of workstation, it is a Fusion. Fusion is for Mac. You have a MacBook, then you want a VMware workstation kind of stuff. So you have to use VMware Fusion, another application. VMware Player, still now it is not available. VMware Player, it's a free, but it is in future it will be removed because of that VMware workstation directly providing, okay, with all features in a personal use. Oracle VM VirtualBox. Oracle VM VirtualBox. Oracle VM VirtualBox. It's a free. Okay, it's a free to download and install. Microsoft Virtual PCs is discontinued. It works in a Microsoft XP Vista 7 10, 8 onwards. It's not working. Guys, what we are using is type 2 virtualizations, right? VMware workstation. Using VMware workstation, we created a virtual machines. Meaning is type 2 virtualization. It's local and isolated. Okay. And without operating system, we can't install an application. Even a hypervisor application also without OS, we can't install it. Like that's the point. The voice running in a physical machine is called host voice. The voice running in a virtual machine called a guest voice. So there is a two approaches like type 1, type 2. See the type 1, there is a hardware, hypervisor, and guest voice 1, guest voice 2, like that it is done. In type 2, it is hardware, host operating system, on top of it hypervisor application, and then you create a VMs. So it all depends upon OS should be support to run your hypervisor application, then only you can able to create and run the virtual machine. That's the difference between type 1 and type 2. These are all pictures. I draw it only, guys. Don't worry. Okay. So type 1 and type 2, see it is in type 1 is a bare metal virtualization. On top of hardware, you install directly in a hypervisor. It can be ESXi or Hyper-V server or Xen server, Proxmox EE, Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization. Once you install, connect to the server through client application and create a VMs, install OS, run applications. In type 2, it's a localized one. So you have an operating system in your system. Okay, it can be Windows, Linux, or Mac. Okay, using any hypervisor applications like VMware Workstation or a player, Oracle VirtualBox or virtual PCs. Using these applications, install on top of your operating system and create and run virtual machines. As I said, guys, this is you have a type 1 virtualization. So type 1 virtualization. Meaning is you install directly hypervisor in the physical machines. You install hypervisor in your physical machine. Means in your host, in your machine, right? So because of these hypervisors, you can run different virtual machines in your PC. Hypervisor, you can able to run the virtual machines. Next. To create this virtual machine, first you have to interact with these machines, right? So how you do it? Either using desktop tools, okay? Either maybe there's a desktop tools. Most of the nowadays, they're not using any desktop tools, they're using web tools. Okay, web access related tools. Interact with the server and create a virtual machine connected to the server and create a virtual machine here. The virtual machine will be created here or here. Okay. So that is for creating VMs. VMs are running. VMs are running. Good. But someone is want to access this virtual machine. For example, a web server. I want to connect with a web page. I want to access a web page as a client. So connected to the server with the HTTP directly, web page is open. But there is a developer, as I said, a developer want to access a machine and want to insert his code or run his code. So you have to access the server, right? Access the virtual machine. You want to access the virtual machine, not a hypervisor, not your main physical host. You want to access the virtual machine. How to do it? Depends upon the OS and facilities. He will connect with a SSH, a telnet, or RDP. Okay, any of the remote connecting protocols based on your virtual machine. So this person will connect it and access the machine and manage the machine candles. Okay. So here is a desktop admin connected to the your hyper server because it's not physically not providing the pure UI user interface to to create and run the virtual machines or managing storage and network. So you have to connect with the desktop from desktop tool server connected to the machine, connected to your host and create a virtual machines. And user access this virtual machine also with a different remote access tools. Windows, generally remote desktops, in other kind of OSs like SSH telnet support, okay, PowerShell access, VNC type of access also. Okay, so this is about your hypervisors server virtualization. So tomorrow, what we will do it, we're going to see about a VMware. So what is a VMware products? Okay, how to download, install the VMware. So yes, that is 8.3 is available, but I am having a 7 version. These are the minimum requirement to install, guys. Okay. So how to create a machine, how to create a virtual machine to for this purpose. Okay. And total guideline is given. Installation once it is installed and access. Okay. Login. Each and every step, most of the things I kept here, guys. If you look at this document, almost all everything screenshot wise is given. Some are may not having a completed titles kind of stuff, but I given full-fledged one. This one document is more than enough you to practice. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I make a copy separately because I should not confuse where it is stored, where it is stored. I don't need to shut down searching. NSD1 2025. Did I share like that? Okay. Okay. I will share this document, guys. Please go through once today and also don't forget to practice. Okay. What practice? Read this document first and what are the practicals you are completed. And as per your syllabus, check it once. Okay. That's it for today. Tomorrow, again 2:30, we will connect and discuss about a remaining part. There is a 7 labs are there on the VMware. So I'm going to show you all the things one by one. Okay. That's it. What happened? Here it is. Here is your document. Okay. These many things are not required. Or if you want a PPT also, I can show it. Not required. Okay. Bye, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.